Good morning. It's 10 a.m. on November 14, 2023. We'll call to order the meeting of the Story County Board of Supervisors. Please stand with me if you're able and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt today's agenda?
Second.
Moved. Is your microphone on? The motion and a second. Merkin.
Aye.
Hens.
Aye.
Faisal. Aye. Now it's time for public comment number one. This comment period is for the public to address topics on today's agenda. Anyone wishing to make public comment, you can step forward to the table or raise your hand on Zoom. Seeing no one step forward or raise their hand, we'll close public comment number one. Moving to consideration of proclamation recognizing November 16, 2023 as Philanthropy Day. Supervisor Hedens.
Whereas for 18 years, the Story County Alliance for Philanthropy has created awareness of philanthropy efforts in Story County and recognized over 80 outstanding adult and youth individuals, families, groups, and businesses throughout Story County who have exhibited outstanding financial or leadership support for many charitable causes. And whereas the purpose of the proclamation is to educate the public about the many examples of philanthropy that have occurred and continue to occur in Story County. And whereas the Story County Alliance for Philanthropy creates awareness of philanthropy in Story County throughout the month of November as part of National Philanthropy Month.
And whereas philanthropy can be many definitions, including adult and youth individuals, families, groups, and businesses that volunteer and donate their time, effort, leadership, skills, knowledge, property, or money to actively promote human welfare to improve quality of life, which enables everyone to celebrate the extraordinary change that fundraising and philanthropy have helped to create in our world. And whereas there are many organizations committed to creating awareness of and providing recognition of philanthropy in Story County, which include Alliance Committee members, Boys and Girls Club of Story County, Child Serve, Friendship Arc, Good Neighbor Emergency Assistance, Iowa State Memorial Union, ISU College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, Iowa State University Foundation, Mary Greeley Medical Center Foundation, Octagon Center for the Arts, Story County Medical Center, the Arc of Story County, the Bridge Home, United Way of Story County, and Youth and Shelter Services.
And whereas the Story County Board of Supervisors recognizes the value of philanthropy in helping many individuals in Story County, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Story County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim November 16th, 2023 as Philanthropy Day in Story County. On behalf of our community, we encourage all citizens to recognize the many philanthropic efforts of our citizens. I move the proclamation.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Merkin.
Aye.
Hedens.
Aye.
Basil. Aye. And I believe we have some folks who'd like to make a comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do is recognize the 4 award winners that will get recognition on Thursday. The outstanding business philanthropist this year is Story Construction. So they work with a lot of school foundations, United Way, and most specifically Child Serve in many efforts that are ongoing there. The second one is outstanding philanthropist. Perhaps you know Lou and Cosette Scallon. Lou is an ophthalmologist. Cosette is a physician at ISU Student Health Services. But they've worked with over a dozen different nonprofits over the many years that they've been in Ames. The third group is the outstanding youth group. So I think it's important every year that we do recognize a youth group. This year it's the Pam Sybil Music School, and perhaps you know people that have taken lessons there, but they have a practice-a-thon once a year where every hour that they practice, they have people sign up with pledges and they gather those donations. So they've, over the many years with working with Pam, have donated over $60,000 to different nonprofits. And the fourth one, Jennifer Garst, a well-known person in Story County, has contributed to many organizations, both in her time and funding, but also contributed her guidance and knowledge through her ability to run nonprofits. So she's been very beneficial. The event is Thursday, 11:30 at Gateway. Thank you. Anything else?
No, thank you so much for making the proclamation today.
Well, thank you for being here.
you.
And would you like to come up for a picture?
Carly, I'm gonna have you do it.
No, he's going to get Senate President. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No agency reports today. Consideration of minutes from November 7, 2023.
I move approval of minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Hens.
Aye.
Merkin.
Aye.
Basil. Aye. Consideration of personnel actions.
I move approval of personnel actions as listed.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Merkin.
Aye.
Hens.
Aye.
Basil. Aye. Consent agenda.
I move approval of consent agenda items as listed.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Hens.
Aye.
Merkin.
Aye.
Basil. Aye. Moving now to public hearing items. We have consideration of Hickory Grove Park wastewater conveyance system project. Final plans, specifications, form of contract and authorization to release bids. Yeah, you need to get it real close to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope it's okay. We plan to go through this page by page this morning.
Yay.
Do you have extra
Uh,
copies?
No, not really.
Good.
With me today is Matt Walker. Matt is our engineer on the project with Garden and Associates. We engaged Garden and Associates in this project because they had a history on working with, at that time, Central Iowa Water, when Central Iowa Water was considering doing the project. And so Matt has brought that history to bear with this project and done an exceptional job with coordinating thus far with DNR. And bringing his agency's resources to the table with it. So what you'll have this morning, or what we're asking for, is consideration of the plans, specifications, and release and authorization to release bids opening on December 12th. For construction of a forced main sanitary system from Hickory Grove Park to the city of Colo. So the city of Colo has agreed to receive the sanitary and to handle it in their lagoon, of course. And so today, I guess we're just here to answer any questions you may have about the project and see if there's any comment.
Any questions?
No questions, but Mike, I just want to thank you and the Conservation Board for sticking with this. This has been a long journey. It's a good thing for the county to be doing. If we're going to lead in water quality, we need to lead in water quality. So I appreciate the work. I know there's been a lot of setbacks and a lot of zigzags this way and that, but I think it's a good plan. So thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you.
And did you say, I just for clarification, did you say you're putting it out for bid on December 1st or hope to have the bids?
We plan to, depending on your consideration this morning, release it for bids either later today or tomorrow morning. And then receive bids on the 12th, open bids on the 12th.
Okay.
And then I noticed from the plans that we are kind of zigging and zagging a little bit. I know that was a lot of kind of back and forth on that. So thanks for finally getting that all figured out.
Yeah, this is, so it'll all be constructed in existing right-of-ways along county roads. And it has, early on, we looked at a couple different routes and this is what we landed on as the most cost-effective route. Matt, am I missing anything here, Matt?
No, Mike did a great job of explaining the project. I was thinking as he was talking though, the time delay was unfortunate, but on an engineering side, there was a pump that wasn't available when the project started that ended up being a great solution. To just have one. We were looking at 2 lift stations at one point, and now we just have a simple project, 1 lift station at the park and direct force main to Colo.
Awesome.
That's good. So maybe it'll be less than we originally thought. There's just one this station.
That was a lot years ago, so I don't know if we can compare the two.
Probably not. We can always try.
Let's try. Okay, any other questions?
no.
Otherwise, I'll open the public hearing.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyone wishing to make public comment, you can raise your hand on Zoom or step to the podium. Okay, seeing no one raise their hand or come forward, we'll close the public hearing. And if there aren't any other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the Hickory Grove Park wastewater conveyance system project final plans, specifications, form of contract, and authorize to release bids.
Second.
And do we need to state bid opening on the 12th, December 12th? No. Okay. Motion and a second. Merkin,
Aye.
Hens,
Aye.
Basil, aye. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks.
See you on the 12th. Next public hearing item, we have discussion and consideration of ordinance number 314, amending chapter 85, general provisions and definitions of Story County land development regulations. Good morning.
Morning, board. This is the entirety of the ordinance. There's just some Scrivener's errors that were caught when we sent the ordinances to be updated through the codification company. The biggest one would be that critical natural resource area. The actual phrase there wasn't in red. It was a new definition that we proposed. The rest of it was in red, but that part wasn't. So that's what you're looking at. And with everything going on, we have done affidavits in the past to correct things like this, but we felt that this was the right way to do it just for everything going on in the county. So P&Z heard this on the 1st, they recommended approval. So they're recommending approval. And if you guys want to waive, you guys have already approved this technically, so.
Well, I know we all appreciate the extra effort for transparency and making sure that things are clear for the public. So thanks. Any questions for Marcus? Okay, with that, we'll open public hearing. Anyone from the public who would like to make comment can raise your hand on Zoom or step forward to the table. Okay, seeing no one raise their hand or step forward, we'll close the public hearing. And if there are no further questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I move approval of ordinance number 314, amending chapter 85, general provisions and definitions of the Story County Land and Development regulations of the Story County Code of Ordinances and waive second consideration, second and third consideration. Yes, and waive second and third consideration.
I second the motion.
Moved and seconded, Hens.
Aye.
Merkin.
Aye.
Basil, aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus.
We have no additional items today. Departmental reports. We have General Assistance Quarterly Report. Good morning.
Hello.
Oh, your mic's not on. He shut it off. Good morning. Did you have any questions at all to start us off? Okay, so just a few things to highlight. This is just our first quarter of numbers, obviously July, August, September. I looked at last year. It's pretty comparable. Nothing too dramatic. One of the changes that we made in the last couple months is that we're allowing people to come in and apply for rent assistance for the next month after the 20th of the month that we are currently in. We did that for a couple reasons. We get a lot of activity because people want to get it taken care of, obviously closer to when it's due. We can't pay in advance. So the 20th is a nice little mark to get people started, at least with filling out their applications, gathering their information and that kind of stuff. And then by the time we hit the claim cycle and do all that kind of thing, it ends up being in the month that it's due anyway. But does get the landlords paid a little bit easier or earlier. Yeah, because sometimes we end up, by the time everything's all done, we end up over a month behind when it was due and that kind of thing. So it's been working out okay. It's kind of shifted our busy days a little bit, but it's all right. We're adapting. We continue to work with Good Neighbor and Salvation Army in our centralized intake. And so in that quarter, we started to do a little looking around in their database that they use, which is Charity Tracker. Good Neighbor was able to secure participation from many of the agencies. So they paid for it basically to get us into a group. So therefore, St. Thomas, St. Patrick's here in Nevada, can all get on there. We can collaborate about, assistance. We can see who's assisted people, which is really nice because sometimes we work on that communication, but sometimes we don't always know. And so it shows a history of assistance for people. It also has this bulletin board feature that is kind of like an instant messaging. So when you get those people that come in that either, they've got time sensitive things, and we're able to say, yep, they received a 3-day notice today. Can you get, can anybody help? They have a shut off notice for tomorrow. Can anybody assist? So it does kind of help in those emergent situations. And so Chelsea and Wendy have been using that primarily to do that. We're also using it to help us with if there's denials or things like that from other agencies too, and communicating that with people. So, I'm still trying to hire for this little part-time intern position. At the time when I wrote this, we hadn't received any applicants. We discovered, I'm thinking maybe part of the problem was we discovered that we had it listed for $11 an hour. Should have been 15. Once we fixed that, I've gotten some interest, did some interviews last week, have another this week. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that's exciting. And then amidst all that, I met with 89 veterans in that quarter as well. So, all right. Any questions?
Veterans Supermarkets this Saturday,
Yep.
right?
9 to 12.
9 to 12 at the Plex. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Come on out if you want to.
Will do.
Okay.
Just down the road.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Do you have any
I
questions?
do not.
No?
Thanks, Erin. I
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
Yeah. You
Thanks,
bet.
Darren.
Appreciate it. No other reports, any upcoming agenda items?
I will have on not the 21st, but the 28th agenda, there'll be a request from Salvation Army.
I don't have any right now.
Okay. Moving to public comment number 2, this comment period is for the public to comment on items not on this agenda. The board may not take any action due to requirements of open meetings law, but may do so in the future. Anyone wishing to make public comment, you can step forward to the table or raise your hand on Zoom. Seeing no one raise their hand or step forward, we'll close public comment number 2 and move to liaison assignments, committee meeting updates, and announcements from the supervisors. Supervisor Heddens, do you want to start?
Sure, busy week this week. I have on the agenda this afternoon, canvass of city school election. I have Nevada Fieldhouse dedication tonight at 5:30, and then I also have an ARC meeting tonight at 7, I think it is. Tomorrow I'll be out all day building inclusive communities, and then in the evening, the financial assistance for rural communities. Thursday, I have aging resources in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I have CICS, and we also have the department head and elected official meeting. So I will run up for Aaron, and I have something on the agenda for our department head elected official meeting. So I'll run upstairs for that. And I have the MICA annual meeting Thursday night. Friday, I have a breakfast meeting with Greg. I have the sustainability and Story County brown bag lunch, which I'll do a little bit of that. Then we have the boards and commissions leadership program, and I also have DCAT. So I'll have to leave one a little bit early to be able to do the other. Monday morning, I have a, excuse me, a meeting with Herda early in the morning. And then I have the Microsoft meeting, and I have a lunch meeting. Then I have a Microsoft meeting in the afternoon, and then I have a private appointment later in the afternoon. So busy.
Very busy. Supervisor Merkin?
Yeah, it's a crazy busy week. I think I have a lot of the same things that you have. Plus, I have a meeting at Center for Rural Affairs this afternoon to talk about WMA legislative approach next year. The canvas, the Fieldhouse dedication tomorrow, also building inclusive organizations and the financial assistance for rural communities. Thursday morning, I have a CERT board meeting. Oh, first I'll be at Local Talk with KHOI. So if anybody has any county business that they can think of, if they haven't already told me, let me know. Then I have CERT board meeting, the department head, elected officials meeting, and Nevada Economic Development annual event Thursday evening. Friday, I have a AEDC board meeting in the very early morning. Then I have a MIPA meeting. Then we have working on our boards and commissions leadership program. The VA supermarket Saturday. Monday, I think I have a little better day. Microsoft 365. So yeah, a lot going on.
Yep. Yeah, I have most of those same meetings. After the Fieldhouse dedication this evening, I have a boost meeting. Same all day, building inclusive organizations and financial assistance to rural communities all day and evening tomorrow. Thursday, I will be at the animal shelter, job shadowing with them, just seeing what their day-to-day work is like. And then department head and elected officials meeting, hunger collaboration right after that, NEDC annual meeting Thursday night. Friday morning, I've got a Go Green team, and then the brown bag lunch and boards and commissions leadership meeting. I have a personal appointment Monday morning, and then the Microsoft 365 meeting Monday afternoon, and Saturday the veteran supermarket. I'm glad that you said that because I didn't have that on my calendar
It's
until
on mine, but yeah, I plan
so.
on going over as well.
I would add just one thing from this last week, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Sarah Carmichael, our watershed coordinator, and I attended a meeting in Mason City last week. It was a Midwest leadership of watershed, people working on watershed projects. It was one of the best conferences I've been to in a long time. And it was a real, I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but it seems like this might be very interesting. They really talked a lot about working with agriculture. Somebody from Soybean Association was there, somebody from Land Lakes that has a lot of financial assistance for farmers that are looking at doing in-field practices. It was just a kind of a breath of fresh air. So Sand County Foundation puts it on every year, and I think it's really worthwhile. So I'm hoping to go to that again next year.
Great.
So
I'm glad it was so positive.
it was incredible.
Okay, anything further? No? All right.
I move we adjourn.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Merkin.
Aye.
Hens.
aye.
Basil, aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.